let's do our weekly check-in on our teams, guys. Everybody knows K-Walk is a 49ers fan. Brittany loves those Philadelphia Eagles. And I am currently a Dallas Cowboys fan. So every week, I just love to get a little bit of talking about our teams. And this week, I want to talk about the defense. Last week, we talked about which quarterback we trusted the most. And I think we all agreed that it was Jimmy G. Now, unfortunately, Jimmy G goes down. Now I want to talk about these defenses because they're all really good in their own right. The 49ers do it, man, with that outstanding defensive line. They just suffocate you. Dallas gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They turn you over. The Eagles can do it on both levels, in the secondary and in the defensive front. All three of these teams have really good defenses. But if you had to choose, and Britt, I'll start with you on this one. Out of those three teams, the 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, which one has the best defense?
The one with D'Amico Ryans. the 49ers. Look, I love my Eagles defense. I think we're getting healthy, and you could see it. I think the fact that we got Jordan Davis back, although he did get hurt, I think he'll be fine. No, it's nothing serious. We got Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph. That helped with Fletcher Cox because he's playing much, much better. It's just something about this 49ers defense. The fact that they could win a game without their quarterback scoring any points, to me, you're just the best defense in the last few seasons. D'Amico Ryans has these boys playing like crazy. Was it Nick Bosa? I can't think of some of the people on your line, but
Eric
yeah. But then you get hurt. A lot of, especially in the secondary, you get hurt, and I can't think of his name, but I think he's the safety.
Hufanga?
Yes.
Hufanga. Mm-hmm.
Where did he even come from? He's picking off people and right, making big hits. Who is this guy? So they have so much depth in that locker room. This defense is crazy from the line up into the secondary. They're just this is a dangerous defense. So to me, in my mind, they're the best. And then I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Okay. I was about to say, Britt, I don't disagree with anything you said until you let that last little part come out. So, Britt, I agree with 99% of what you just said, but
99.9.
Just to be different, I'm going to go a different way here. I'm going to say that I think the Cowboys have the best defense, and here's why. Stay with me. Britt, I see you side-eyeing me already. Look,
yeah, because they can't stop the run or nothing. Go ahead.
You're right. They are a little lax in the run, but the name of the game is putting pressure on the quarterback, and I believe the Cowboys do that as well as anybody. We know about Micah Parsons, but they have other guys on that defensive front that apply a lot of pressure and make a lot of plays because of the attention that Micah Parsons gets. So number one, they can pressure the quarterback, but number two, they can turn you over. The Cowboys are very good at turning over the football. So if you can put pressure on the QB and make a lot of turnovers, that's a formula to win a lot of football games. We saw it happen. We saw it happen the other night in the Colts in that fourth quarter. What'd they do? Turn them over 3-4 times in the fourth quarter.
Man,
that's the
Colts
Cowboys
turned themselves over.
Hey, look, you can say that, but to me, I always like to give credit to the guys making the plays. So I just think pressure on the quarterback and turning people over, you can't go wrong with that formula. So look, the 49ers defense is great. I love them. The defensive front, outstanding. But I'm going to give the Cowboys the slight edge. Okay, Walk, I think I know where you're going here, but maybe not. What say you?
Before K-Walk goes, this temporary Cowboys fan on this show just sat up here and said the Cowboys because they turn people over.
Yes.
And they're as well as the best as far as pressuring. You didn't say the best. You said as well as. And they're number 2 in the turnover ratio.
Yeah, that's great.
Who's number 1?
Philly.
Okay.
But Philly doesn't get the kind of pressure on the quarterback that the Cowboys do. So they don't get to generate the kind of sacks that the Cowboys do.
You might
So
be right, but
that's where I think they
still got
separate
a
themselves.
they got some deficiencies in that secondary and that run defense and a couple other areas. I love Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is a difference maker for this defense, but I don't think they're the best out of these guys. Go ahead, K-Walk. I'm sorry.
Y'all should have let me go first so I can sit back and listen to this debate, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound biased, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to take my 49ers here, man. I said they were my who's balling last week, because of the fact of the matter is they went 4 straight games without allowing a second half touchdown. In the last 5 weeks, they've only allowed one. That one touchdown, was a busted coverage from Tua to Tyreek Hill. I think what they did on Sunday is solidify that they're the best in the business right now. I just think what Bosa did, he had three sacks. He had a forced fumble. They returned the fumble for a touchdown. They had 3 interceptions as well. I know the one was late. They brought in their backup quarterback and Fred Warner picked it off. But before that, they were pretty much in business. I know it looked the start looked shaky for them. The first play of the game, it was a 75-yard touchdown, but they regrouped. Like you mentioned, D'Amico Ryans does a great job of adjusting, and we got they got Eric Armstead back, which was huge, which opened up a lot of things for Nick Bosa as well. I love their I love their front seven. Their back end is questionable. They do have Ufunga, they do have Mooney Ward as well, Gibson as well, but that front seven and their linebackers are I think the most athletic linebackers as a group, with Alshire Shire, with Dre Greenlaw, and Fred Warner. They just complement that defensive line so well, man. I mean, they're so well. And I just know when they're going to get to the quarterback. I watch them every week, in depth. I just know when they're going to get to the quarterback. I know what type of scheme they're going to run, but they just seem to look great. They got speed, they got the size, they're physical, and I mean, nothing to take away from those other two teams that you mentioned, 2 defenses. But I just like the 49ers, man. And again, I'm sounding biased. But I just look at what they've done. Look at what they've done. Number 1 in scoring yards. I know you mentioned Brett's turnovers. The Eagles lead that category. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't score, you can't. If you can't score, you can't win. Bottom line.
Yeah, no, man. I can't argue with any of that. I figured you would go there. It's a great pick, but let me ask you, not to put you on the spot, K-Walk, but who would you put in that number 2 position? You got Dallas or Philly in that number 2 spot?
I'm glad you asked that, Jay. Britt, I love you, Britt. I love you, Britt.
You ain't gonna offend me.
I gotta go with the Cowboys because of pretty much what Jay said. That they do have that defensive line that can pressure the quarterback, and obviously led by Michael Parsons. You just never know where he's going to line up, left, right, middle. I just don't have confidence in their linebackers, but their secondary is legit. I just think the weakness of their defense is the linebackers, and they rely a lot on that defensive pressure. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, whose secondary is legit? The Cowboys?
Well, not legit. They're not legit, but they do have some playmakers that complement the defensive.
That's a huge difference.
No. By far,
it's a huge difference.
If you ask me, this was how I would rate it. I think that as much as I love my 49ers, I'm gonna, even though they have Nick Bosa, I would give the slight edge to the Cowboys defensive line. I'll give the edge to the 49ers and linebackers, and I'll give the edge to the Eagles on the back end. That would be your ultimate defense for this year, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's almost like that Cowboys secondary is feast or famine. Like they're going to pick it off, or they're going to give up a 50-yard play. It's
right.
Just
and they just lost their starter. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting how that works. They're going to need some help in that other spot. I like Trayvon Diggs. I do like Trayvon Diggs, though. I will say that. But he is a hit or miss.
Yeah, he's feast or famine.
But he'll get better. Hopefully, he's still young. Yeah. He'll get better. Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff there, guys. Let's jump over to the AFC. We talked